On a $400,000 home, you will pay back $700,000. That is not a typo. In the next 9 minutes, I am going to show you exactly where that extra $300,000 goes, and more importantly, how to get some of it back. Here's what your bank never explains at the closing table. When you take out a mortgage, you don't pay it off evenly, month by month. Instead, the bank uses something called an amortization schedule, and it's specifically designed to collect most of its interest from you first. Let's say you borrow $400,000 at a 7% interest rate on a 30-year loan. Your monthly payment comes out to about $2,661. Now here's where it gets interesting. In your very first payment, $2,333 of that $2,661 is pure interest, money that goes straight to the bank. Only $328 actually reduces what you owe on the house. That's roughly 88 cents of every dollar going to interest on day one. Fast forward to year 10. You've made 120 payments. You've sent the bank almost $320,000 total, but you still owe over $330,000 on the house. Think about that. After a decade of faithful monthly payments, you barely own more of your home than the day you signed. This isn't a bug in the system. It's a feature designed to maximize the bank's return on its money while keeping your payments affordable enough that you don't walk away. The tool that makes this possible is compound interest working in reverse, against you. Understanding this changes how you think about your mortgage forever. Every mortgage payment you make is split between interest and principal. In the early years, the split is brutal. In the later years, it flips, but most Americans never get there. The average American family moves every 7 years. The average mortgage is refinanced every 5 to 7 years. This means most homeowners are perpetually stuck in the most interest-heavy part of their loan. They buy at 30, refinance at 35, sell at 40, buy again, refinance again. The cycle resets the amortization clock every single time. So while they've been making payments for 10 years, they've owned progressively more of the house, but then they reset to zero. The bank collects maximum interest, and the cycle begins again. This is sometimes called the amortization trap, and it's one of the biggest wealth transfers happening in America right now. But here's what changes everything. Awareness. Once you understand how the schedule works, you have 3 powerful tools at your disposal. First, making extra payments toward principal. Even $100 a month dramatically reduces your total interest over the life of the loan. On a $400,000 mortgage at 7%, adding just $200 extra monthly cuts 6 years off your loan and saves $87,000 in interest. Second, refinancing strategically, not reactively. And third, understanding exactly when selling makes sense versus when you'd be walking away from equity you fought hard to build. Refinancing sounds simple. Get a lower rate, lower your payment. But the reality is more nuanced. When you refinance, 2 things happen simultaneously. You lock in a potentially lower interest rate, but you also reset your amortization schedule back to zero. This is the move that benefits your bank almost as much as it benefits you. Here's the math. Say you bought in 2019 at 3.5% on a 30-year mortgage. By 2023, you've paid 4 years of interest. Then rates drop again and you refinance into another 30-year loan. You're now 34 years away from paying off your home, even though you've been paying for 4 years. You've essentially extended your loan by 4 years while capturing a lower rate. In some scenarios, this makes perfect sense. If rates drop 2% or more, the savings can be enormous. The general rule is that refinancing pays off if you plan to stay in the home long enough to recoup the closing costs, typically 2 to 3 years. The refinancing break-even formula is simple. Divide your total closing costs by your monthly savings. If closing costs are $6,000 and you save $300 per month, your break-even point is 20 months. Stay longer than that, and you're ahead. But there are scenarios where refinancing destroys wealth. If you're already 20 years into a 30-year mortgage and you refinance into another 30-year loan, you've just added 20 years of interest payments. Even at a lower rate, the total interest could be higher. The smarter move in that case? Refinance into a 10 or 15-year loan. Your payment may go up, but you'll save hundreds of thousands in interest and own your home outright while you're still in your prime earning years. The interest rate is just the headline number. The real cost of a mortgage is buried in line items most buyers never read carefully. First, there are origination fees. These typically range from 0.5% to 1% of the loan amount. On a $400,000 loan, that's up to $4,000 just to process your application. Then there's private mortgage insurance, or PMI. If you put down less than 20%, lenders require PMI, which adds 0.5% to 1.5% of the loan to your annual cost. On a $400,000 loan, that's $2,000 to $6,000 per year, every year until you hit 20% equity. There are also discount points, property taxes, homeowners insurance, HOA fees, and what many buyers underestimate, maintenance costs, which historically run 1 to 2% of the home's value annually. Add it all up, and the true cost of home ownership can be 40 to 60% higher than the mortgage payment alone. But here's the silver lining buried in all of this. Every one of these costs is negotiable or manageable. You can negotiate origination fees. You can eliminate PMI by reaching 20% equity and requesting its removal. Lenders are required by law to remove it at 22% equity, but they won't tell you unless you ask. You can buy discount points strategically if you plan to stay long-term. Each point costs 1% of the loan, but typically reduces your rate by 0.25%, paying for itself in 4 to 5 years. And you can avoid many of these costs entirely through careful lender comparison. Studies show that getting quotes from just 3 lenders saves buyers an average of $1,500 over the first 5 years. So what does a financially savvy homeowner actually do differently? Strategy 1. The bi-weekly payment hack. Instead of making 12 monthly payments per year, pay half your monthly payment every 2 weeks. This results in 26 half payments per year, the equivalent of 13 monthly payments. You pay 1 extra month per year without feeling it, cutting years off your mortgage and saving tens of thousands in interest. Strategy 2. Apply windfalls to principal. Tax refunds, bonuses, inheritance. Every dollar that hits your principal early in the loan eliminates multiple dollars of future interest. Strategy 3. Recast instead of refinance. If you have a large lump sum, say from selling another property, many lenders will let you recast your mortgage. You make a large principal payment, and the lender recalculates your payment based on the lower balance. Same interest rate, same loan term, dramatically lower monthly payment, and no closing costs. Strategy 4. Know your home equity line of credit options. A HELOC lets you borrow against your equity at lower rates than credit cards or personal loans. Used strategically, not for lifestyle spending, it can be a powerful tool for home improvements that increase your property's value. And strategy 5. Stay informed about market conditions. Mortgage rates fluctuate daily. Setting a rate alert through a financial platform costs nothing and can save you tens of thousands if you catch a dip at the right time. The homeowners who build generational wealth aren't necessarily the ones who earn the most. They're the ones who understand the instruments they're signing. The mortgage industry depends on one thing: your confusion. The banks aren't evil, they're businesses, and they've designed extraordinarily clever systems to maximize their returns while keeping your payments predictable and affordable. But the math is always there. The amortization schedule is always published. The costs are always in the disclosure documents. You just have to know where to look and what to ask. A $400,000 home doesn't have to cost $700,000. With the right knowledge and a few deliberate moves, extra principal payments, smart refinancing timing, understanding true costs, you can save $50,000, $100,000, even more over the life of your loan. That's money that stays in your pocket, money that builds your net worth. money that goes to your family's future instead of your lender's bottom line. If you found this valuable, hit subscribe. Every week, we break down the financial systems that most people navigate blindly, so you can walk through them with your eyes open. Thanks for watching.